Good morning all. Today's session is about Introduction to Azure IoT. Here's the agenda for today's session. Before moving to Azure IoT directly, I will tell you what is Internet of Things or IoT as a brief introduction, and then I will move to Azure IoT related topics. Under that, I'll be discussing what is Azure IoT and its architecture with different types of components. Then I will go through the different available IoT services or components and some business usages of Azure IoT. After that, I will discuss about Azure IoT Hub because it plays a major role among Azure IoT components. And finally, some security related matters in Azure IoT and some available SDKs related things will be discussed. So we will move to IoT. So what is IoT? It describes the network of physical objects that are embedded with different sensors and software, and also it connects and exchanges data with other devices and systems using the internet. In this picture, you can see there are devices range from our household objects to different industrial tools. So simply we can connect our day-to-day objects like cars, thermostats, baby monitors, phones to the internet using these embedded devices. This is a basic introduction to IoT. And then I will tell you what is Microsoft Azure IoT. Basically, it is a collection of Microsoft managed cloud services that connect, monitor and control IoT assets. Also, it includes security and operating systems devices along with the data and analytics. So in simple terms, it is a collection of IoT devices that communicate with one or more backend services hosted in the cloud. So here I have highlighted three parts of this description: IoT devices, communication and backend services. So IoT device is typically made up of a circuit board with some sensors attached to that circuit, and it uses Wi-Fi to connect to the internet. And next one is communication. So normally the IoT device sends telemetry data from sensor or the device to backend services, and backend services also can sending commands to devices. So it is called as device to cloud and cloud to device communication. So in order to have this two-way communication, the different communication protocols can be used. We can use some protocols like HTTP, COAP, MQTT. Likewise, we can have different types of protocols. The last important thing is in a IoT solution is backend services. Using these backend services, we can receive telemetry data and analyze those for reporting purposes and to show this information in different business applications like web apps. Likewise, so also we can send commands from cloud to device using the backend services. We will move to Azure IoT reference architecture. This is a high-level architecture. So it has three parts: things, insights and actions. The IoT application can be described using these three components: the things or devices sending data that generate insights. These insights generate actions, and these actions are used to improve our business or a process. For an example, a sensor fixed in a server room sending temperature and humidity data. This data is used to decide whether the sensor is working correctly, and using this information we can prepare and prioritize the maintenance schedule for the server room or this sensor. I will move to the next slide. Also, I forgot to mention one thing. This architecture uses the Azure platform as service component. This is another view of the IoT reference architecture with some optional subsystems. In the required components, I have highlighted in green color. Those were in the earlier architecture diagram, and the optional components are marked in blue color. So there can be different types of devices like IoT devices and IoT edge devices. So you know what IoT device is. And the IoT edge device lets you run computing on the edge using a Docker container. So both of these devices send telemetries to the cloud gateway. So after that, there's the option to directly store these telemetries in a storage, or you can send it for stream processing, or else you have the option to add a subsystem called data transformation. Suppose there are different types of sensors with different manufacturers. They send different types of telemetries with different formats. So we have to store a common format in this in our data store for analysis. In such cases, we can use data transformation as an optional subsystem to this architecture. So also we can send the stored data for machine learning, and we can also use subsystems like user management for UI and reporting tools. Likewise, we can add some optional subsystems to the architecture based on the business and the client requirements. Okay, it's about Azure IoT architecture. Then we will move to next slide. It's about Azure IoT components. So when you go to the Azure portal and when you need to create a resource, under the Internet of Things section, you can see these components. So I will describe each of these. At the top of the slide, I have put IoT Hub and IoT Central. These two components are considered as top tier services because all the IoT solution must have one of these resources. We should have either IoT Hub or IoT Central in our IoT solution. IoT Hub is a managed service which is hosted in the cloud, and it acts as a central message hub for bidirectional communication between IoT application and our devices. Also, it provides a reliable and secure connection between these IoT devices and the backend solution. Then we have IoT Central. It is a hosted IoT app platform, and it scales with our business growth. Also, we can integrate with this IoT Central with the different existing business applications. In the next line, I have IoT Hub Device Provisioning Service, the Azure Security Center for IoT, and the Azure Sphere. Those components are related to Azure IoT Security. So IoT Hub Device Provisioning Service, or we call it as DPS, it provisions devices globally. The devices are automatically and securely connected to IoT Hub and provisioned with initial configuration. The next one is Azure Security Center for IoT. It provides a view of the IoT solution for DevOps and IoT solution managers. The Azure Sphere is also one of the components related to Azure Security. Using this product, the product manufacturers can create secure and connected devices that can be updated and update, control, and monitor the device and maintain it remotely. These are the security related components. Then we have IoT data analysis components like Time Series Insights, Azure Maps, and Azure Digital Twins. Azure Time Series Insight connects to event of Azure IoT Hub or Event Hub, and then it visualizes and analyzes these events. These analysis results produced from the Time Series Insight discover the hidden trends in telemetries. So using this Time Series Insights, we can get the idea about the pattern of this telemetries that sends from the devices. Then we have Azure Maps. It helps to find the best route to a given location based on the traffic conditions, weather conditions, and the route conditions. The last one of data analysis is Azure Digital Twins. So it creates a digital software model of physical environment. The solution can query data from model space, and we also have the function apps. Using the function apps, we can transform telemetries into whatever the format we need, or we can send our telemetries or transform telemetries in different storage like blob storage, Cosmos DBs, and if you need, we can send it to the different queues and topics likewise. So those are the IoT component related things. Then I will move to next slide. It's about business usage of Azure IoT. We can use Azure IoT for different purposes. So first one is remote monitoring. That is the foundation for all IoT solutions. The sensors that are embedded in the devices send continuous telemetries to cloud, and we can use those telemetries for monitoring the specific tool or a space or a particular thing. Then we have predictive maintenance. So especially manufacturing industry use the predictive maintenance. They use it to monitor different tools and plan for maintenance based on the telemetry data. It helps us to prevent failing devices. Then facility management. It is also combined with remote monitoring to optimize the energy usage. The next one is connected manufacturing. It is the capability of managing production lines. So in the production line, this feature can be used in different ways, and then we have fleet management. Fleet management is the ability to monitor a fleet of vehicle with location-aware sensors. Especially the transportation industry use the real-time visibility to track the location and the speed of vehicles. So these are some of the business usage in Azure IoT. Then I will tell you what is IoT Hub. Actually, it provides a reliability and security to connection between devices and cloud. So it also have the option to register and monitor devices in individual level. In the IoT Hub, there's a section to register IoT devices, and inside the IoT devices, we can have some documents. I will tell you what are the documents later, but using these documents, we can get the details, what are the parameters, the information we get from the device, and what are the installation details, and where are the specific devices likewise, and we can monitor those devices in individual level. Related to the documents of IoT Hub, we have device twin and module twin. The device twin is the place that we store all the information related to the device. Like as I said earlier, what are the parameters? So the information that we get from the particular device, the actual device, those are called as desired properties. And time to time we get the readings from that sensor, and we store it in the device twin, and those section is called as reported properties. Also we have a section called tags, and inside the tag we can store the device and manufacturer level specific things like manufacturer name, the device name, the device location, the geolocation. If it is fixed in a building, we can specifically store what is the flow of the building and what is the order of the particular flow of the building. Likewise, we can store different types of information in a device twin. It's basically a JSON document. And then we have a module twin. It's also a JSON. So module twin uses in some situations, like suppose we have a sensor, and that sensor or the device sends us different types of parameters like temperature and the humidity, the wind speed likewise. So in order to store the different information as different modules, we use module twins. So both of these documents are stored in the IoT Hub. IoT Hub supports two-way communication because it can receive the message from the devices, and also the hub can send messages and different commands to the physical devices. Also, it uses different inbuilt and custom protocols to connect devices with IoT Hub. In the next slide, I will show you how to use different protocols to connect to the Azure IoT Hub. So there are different types of devices. Some have the capability of connecting to the IoT Hub through IP, and some are not capable of connecting directly to internet. So for the devices that are capable of connecting through the IP, we can use protocols like HTTP, MQTT, the TLS. Likewise, we can use these protocols to directly connect to the Azure IoT Hub. So the devices that are not capable of connecting directly to the internet, we should have a custom protocol, and using that custom protocol we connect to a field gateway, and using this field gateway, through the field gateway we connect to the Azure IoT Hub. Likewise, we also have protocol gateways, and using the protocol gateways also we can connect to the Azure IoT Hub. But in the industry, the common usage is directly connecting to the Azure IoT Hub using the protocols like HTTP, MQTT, and the COAP like protocols. I will move to the next slide. It is about security in Azure IoT. The security also and the deployment can be divided into 3 areas, like device security, connection security, and the cloud security. When we talk about device security, it provides a unique identity key, and it calls as a symmetric key for each device. And that key can be used by the device to connect with IoT Hub. Also, the certificates like X509 and the private key is used to authenticate the device from the IoT Hub. Then we have the connection security. The internet connection between the IoT device and the IoT Hub is secured using transport layer security standards. Currently, the Azure IoT supports the transport layer security versions like 1.2, 1.1 and 1.0. This is about connection security. Then we have cloud security. Azure IoT Hub allows the definition of access control policies for each security key. It uses different types of permissions and permission levels to grant access to each of IoT endpoint, and that permissions limit the access to IoT Hub based on the functionality. So some of these permissions are read-write permissions, registry read permission, service connect, and device connect. So there are likewise there are different permission levels. So based on these different permission levels, we have different types of things that can be achieved. So I will move to the next slide. The available Azure IoT SDKs. So there are different types of SDKs provided by Azure IoT, and here I have listed 4 SDKs available these days. The first one is IoT Hub Device SDK. So this SDK helps to build apps that runs on the IoT devices using device client or module client. Then we have IoT Hub Service SDKs. It helps us to build backend applications to manage IoT Hub and send messages and send desired property updates to backend applications. Then we have some SDKs working with device provisioning services. Here I have listed 2 SDKs. Using the provisioning device SDK, we can build apps that run on a IoT device and communicate with the device provisioning services. Also, the provisioning service SDK we use for building backend applications to manage the enrollments in the device provisioning service. Likewise, we have different SDKs available, and the important thing is these SDKs are supports for different languages like C#, Java, Node.js, Python, and iOS. We have the opportunity to select whatever the programming language suitable for the application and use these SDKs for our development. That's all about the introduction to IoT, Azure IoT. And these are the references and the image references that are used in the slides. So that's the end of the presentation today. So you can ask if there are any questions now.
Thank you for the presentation. Are there any use cases that you have done based on this?
No, Krishant. I'm currently working on a project related to the IoT stuff. I will write use case related to that once the project works.
No, I mean, not the use case written, like what kind of project that you're doing? Can you explain?
It's related, we have some IoT devices that are fixed in different buildings, and gets the different parameters from these devices like humidity, temperature, the pressure, likewise. And the different manufacturers have provided different types of devices, and those devices are providing different formats of telemetries. So what we first did was we using a smart bridge, we format these telemetries into a common format, and those formats, the telemetry is into a the storage, and using this storage, different Azure functions are triggered. And using the Azure function, we can analyze the telemetry and check with the IoT hub whether it is a existing device or a new device. If it's a new device, we send the command to create the devices in the IoT hub. Also, if there's an existing one, we send the commands to update the reported properties of the IoT hub twin, the device twin. And using these device twins and the reported telemetries, we can check whether there are any missing telemetries according to, with the time. If there are multiple telemetries are missing, another function will be triggered and send the notifications to the support team. Again, we use Stream Analytics and time series insights to analyze this information and send those information to the notifications to the support teams, the different support teams, and different messaging protocols. That's the high-level description of the project.
Oh, thanks, Gani. If there are no questions, Gani, thank you so much for the presentation. You can wind up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.